Hi everybody, so today we're going to be working on tappets. These things can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and actually I found a way to make it more easier for you to use them. They're very easy, they have a great look. You can get these in all type of designs as well, so it'll be the best way to figure out the little suckers as I call them. So what we're going to need, obviously we're going to need one of our tappets. You're going to need a silk mat pad or something, a workstation. Cornstarch is great because you definitely don't want to have your phonics sticking on anything. And also you want to use cornstarch to brush on, let's say if you brush on in with the letter you're using, you can brush it on as well. And a toothpick, I use a toothpick just in case I get something stuck and I want to get it out, but I don't want to mess up the letter that I'm using or the number that I'm using. And also a toothpick helps when you are trying to make the shape again and not moving around. So this is almost if you can tell, this is the width of the fondant that I do use. I'm going to actually thin it out a little bit more. I always say when I first started using, I used to do very thick, well not thick, but more thicker fondant. I used to roll it out a little bit thicker, and when I rolled it out thin, it works easier with me with the tappets. So I'm going to roll it out some more. And it's good if you do have cornstarch, so you don't want your fondant to be sticking on the mat while you do this. And so this is about as thin as I'm gonna get it. So just roll it out really thin, or to the way you want it. I always do it thin because it works easier. And I just take an area, and I'm gonna probably use the L. Let me brush on my tappet. Put a little bit of cornstarch up here. I'm going to use the L, and I'm just going to cut it out. Just press hard on it right here. Just press hard on it, and what I do is I just tear the pieces from it. And put that to the side. And then there you go. Sorry about that. It seems like my refrigerator is loud today. And so what you can do, you want to make sure you have clean edges. So one thing you can do to make sure you have clean edges is you can like smooth, you can use your roller and smooth it over there, or you can just take your finger and make sure your edges are clean, because the thicker the fondant would be, you won't get into this. Now, most people do this. They tap it and they do like this. That right there, I'm a little heavy-handed, and I break some of my tappets. Or you can just see, and it comes right out. That's how it's supposed to do. You're supposed to do it real quick. I put my the piece that I'm not using, I put it against my. Let me show you guys 1 second. So whatever I'm using, sorry about that, guys. It's gonna be a little movement here. Whatever I'm using, I put it against here, and then I go, and then I hit it against there. So you have to have a hard surface, and you hit it against the thing that you're using. And sometimes it will come out like this. So what you do is, I don't use my fingers to move it. I use a toothpick because I don't want to disturb the shape of it. And I get it to the shape that I wanted to get to, and I move it over. I move it out of the way, and then I'm going to dry. I don't touch these until they're fully dry, because when you start touching them, since it's a shape, it can easily be it can easily change its shape. So I really don't touch these until they're fully dried, and a little bit hardened. So let's try another one and show you guys another way you can do it. So I put down the one that I use. It's still thin, and I'm gonna try, let's do a G. The G always give me issues for some reason. And I just press it down in there really good to make sure it's pressed in there really good. And then I just take the fondant away from the part. I don't lift it up, I just tear the fondant away. Then I turn it over, and I use my toothpick, and I just take out the pieces that don't supposed to be there. I don't want to disturb them. And then you want to make sure You see what happened when I tried to tear it out? It kind of lifted up the letter. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll it over. I'm going to use my thing and roll it over to make sure all the pieces are in there. And then kind of bump the piece out. Just to make sure all the pieces are in there. Okay. Then I'm gonna smooth it out some. It's already coming out, as you see. The thinner the fondant, and if you coat it with cornstarch good, sometimes you don't even have to tap it, it'll come out. And we'll see here. All I'm gonna do is hold it to this piece right here, and hopefully it'll work. And it comes on, it comes straight out. And this one looks kind of wonky, but it's okay. It's a G, it'll be okay. I'm gonna do one more and then it'll show you guys. So again, our fondant is very thin. Find one that you're using. I'm gonna use an H. Press it down really good. There we go. Tear your fondant away from it instead of lifting it up. I just go ahead and tear my fondant away from it. It'll be easier like that. If you want to, instead of using a roller, you can kind of smooth your tap it over your silk mat pad. Make sure that it does have cornstarch on it so you won't get any stick, just to make it sure it's smooth. Then I'm going to take a toothpick and just take out the excess that we're not using. I'll get the G too. And then make sure the edges are clean, because you want to have clean, crisp edges. And they are. Now, let's say for some reason we're not going to tap this one. Let's say for some reason this does not want to come out. What you can do is you can kind of find a little area and use a toothpick and just kind of poke at a little area so it can come out. So all I did was use a toothpick and poke at the little areas. And so as you can see, it's kind of already raised out. And then you can kind of jiggle it and see. Let's just say if it didn't want to come out, you can kind of use your toothpick and kind of guide it out with it, the areas that don't want to come out. And all I'm gonna do, I got another G here, so make sure that's smooth. And I'm just gonna hold it against something that came out good. The H is still stubborn as usual. So with that H, if I wanted to, I can tap it again one time, or I can just kind of guide it out with my toothpick. But be careful you don't mess up there. And that comes on out. And then sometimes you gotta look at the design of it to see how it looks up here. And then there's our H. There we go. So that's how you use tappets, and tappets are really easy to use. That I think about our chocolate covered Oreos. You can put lines on the chocolate covered Oreos, and then you can put up here. You can put the tappets or the initials up there, or you can just color it. You can use color fondant, or as usual, you can use silver or gold, which I love my gold. And you can paint it and then you can put it up there. But it's a really simple way to personalize the item for your wedding item or any of your desserts.